Hello everyone listening to me. This is Rajat and topic will be about immunity. Why? Because this is very important in the current scenario of the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic situation, and people should know about immunity and how immunity is working in a human's body. So let's get into the topic. So immunity, it is actually the ability of an organism to resist or defend itself from the development of a disease. Immunity is actually of two types: innate immunity and acquired immunity. Innate immunity is actually present from the birth and it is inherited from the parents. It is a non-specific type of defense and it is accomplished by providing some kinds of barriers to the entry of foreign agents, and the barriers are of many types: physical, physiological, cellular, cytokine. And the physical barriers are actually the parts where it doesn't allow pathogens or foreign agents to enter the body. Example of physical barriers are skin, mucous membranes of digestive, respiratory and urogenital tracts, which traps the microorganism and doesn't allow it to get into your body. The next one is actually physiological barriers, which include sweat, tears from eyes, acid in the stomach and saliva in the mouth, which doesn't allow microbial growth. Then we have cellular, cytokine, and it includes WBCs, neutrophils, etc. I don't want to get you into the scientific parts, so let's go on to the acquired immunity. So, in the acquired immunity, when the immune system encounters a pathogen for the first time, a primary response is produced which is of low intensity. The memory of this encounter with the same pathogen is also formed. On subsequent encounter with the same pathogen, a secondary or anamnestic response is produced, which is of very high intensity because of memory of first encounter. So it's simple that whenever a pathogen is getting into your body, a primary response is created and it forms a memory. It forms a memory that these pathogen have already come to me and I will be resisting it with a different mechanism. So they got the mechanism with strong base. In the first time the pathogen may be slightly intense, but when the next time, if it's high intense, the body has already formed a memory and it will be ready for the second encounter. So let's go into the immunization and vaccination. So immunization is actually the process by which the body produces antibodies against the vaccine, or you can call it as primary response, and develops the ability to neutralize pathogens during the actual infection. That is the secondary response. So what is actually vaccination? Vaccination is the process of introduction of weakened or inactivated pathogens or proteins into a person to provide protection against a disease. So when you think of the COVID-19 pandemic situation, if you want to get a vaccination or you want to produce a vaccine, it should be able to produce an inactivated pathogen, but virus is not having a life of itself, so a protein should be incorporated with it, and there are so many procedures. So that's why vaccination takes time to produce. So I'll be talking about vaccination. So vaccination actually provides immunization after a time gap. Vaccination and immunization are based on the property called memory, which I told you earlier, of the immune system. So the vaccine generates memory B and T cells that recognize the pathogens on subsequent exposure and produces an intense immune response. So in that way your immunity is developed. This is how immunity is developed in the body. That is, you have some defense mechanism in your body which produces antibodies, and in that way you will be having the immunity in your body.
I hope you got some value from this episode. Like the video and subscribe to the channel.